Brad Lambert didn't score a lot this season. He put up 10 points in 49 games in Liga, but those low numbers are hiding his potential. Lambert remains the most technically gifted player of the 2022 draft, the most skilled and dynamic prospect available in the class. As a scouting team, we barely use the term elite to describe players, which is a bit ironic considering the name of our website. But Lambert's skating deserves that term. He is an elite skater, one of the best outside the NHL right now. He's fast, agile, and explosive. His technique is close to perfect. His whole body stacks over his edges as he moves around the ice. His deep stance enables him to burst out of his moves, like a fully compressed spring releasing its energy. Lambert is constantly taking advantage of that superior skating ability too. He accelerates out of turns, and as he picks up pucks, uses his outside edges to evade defenders, and a ton of crossovers to gain speed on the rush. He also combines his crossovers with very well executed fakes to freeze opponents and move around them. Watch him shift his weight on his left leg here to make the defender think he's going in that direction. As soon as the defender turns his feet that way, Lambert attacks the other lane. Many other players can pull off angles like this, but not with the same violence and control. Look at this rush from the World Junior Under-18 Championship last year. Lambert skates up ice. He beats the first defender, and then cuts in front to attack the middle of the ice. He slides the puck around sticks, and then makes a few cutbacks along the wall to create space. There are many things to like in this sequence, like Lambert's ability to recognize vulnerable defenders. He sees that the first one is overshooting him on the forecheck. His feet are pointed toward the boards, so Lambert cuts inside. And then he sees that he has a speed difference, so he attacks past him and gains the middle, which forces the defense to collapse around him. Lambert then continues to drive toward the corner to manipulate the last opponent. He makes that opponent turn his feet that way before cutting back. He creates separation, a change of coverage, and finds a play across the ice. Lambert is great at manipulating defenders like this. What enables him to pull off his moves is again his technical ability. He's a very stable skater and handler. His upper body barely moves as he rushes up ice. It stays at about the same angle with the ice. This might seem like a minor detail, but that stable posture allows him to keep a strong hold on the puck even at high speed and under pressure, and to move it around sticks more quickly and more precisely. Compare Lambert's stance with Logan Cooley's. Cooley is one of the best skaters and handlers in the draft, but he isn't as mechanically gifted as Lambert. There's more noise in Cooley's posture as he skates up ice, a bit less flexion and more upper body movement as he changes directions. Because of this, his hold on the puck isn't as tight and skillful as Lambert's. It's a bit harder for Cooley to go through defenses. He can do it, very well even, but not as smoothly. His rushing game ranks a grade below Lambert's. Lambert also handles at his side more often, in his hip pocket, in a position that keeps defenders guessing, as it allows him to instantly pass, dangle, and shoot with both facets of his blade. Of course, hockey is more than mechanics, more than just technique, but those techniques are very important when it comes to development, as they're the base of the game. If a player is very technically advanced, like Lambert, it can be much easier for him to add more skill to his game, and this is why he shouldn't fall too far on draft boards. Yes, he has many weaknesses right now. His wall play is a bit of a problem. Lambert struggles to create off contact. He isn't able to contain and control defenders on his back and spin off of them to attack inside ice often enough. Instead, he tries to outspeed them on the periphery, which puts him in a worse situation as he often skates toward traffic instead of away from it. His playmaking game is overall more of a strength, but sometimes he misses the best play to make. He lacks a bit of deception, anticipation, and timing. Take the previous sequence. Yes, Lambert goes through the entire team. He shows his skill, but maybe passing to his teammate here, while he had a runway to the offensive zone, would have been the best play. Sometimes, Lambert has trouble splitting his focus. He concentrates too much on beating the opposition in front of him, or on the pass he wants to make, which makes it easy for the defense to know what he wants to do. Or he tries to be overly deceptive, and passes too early or too late. Those weaknesses, and his lack of chemistry with his teammates, partly explain why he didn't score all that much this season. What makes Lambert different from the average prospect, however, is that he has a lot more tools available to solve his issues. His skating could become the base of a much better puck protection game, as he's already great at using his outside edges in open ice to cut around opponents, and because he has a stable and explosive posture, it's not too much of a leap to project that he could become quite effective at shaking off defenders on the walls, which will enable him to create more plays to the slot in the offensive zone. And it's also quite reasonable to expect him to improve his playmaking game even more.
That goes high and wide. And Lambert knocks it down as Munzenberger tipped it to Koivunen, who stays on it. Koivunen drops, Lambert centers it, they score! Melenius on the tap in after the turnover.
Because of his speed and agility, he will be able to reach favorable spots on the ice more often than others in the NHL, like the middle of the ice, which allows you to hit plays on both sides, or the area below the goal line in the offensive zone, where defenders have to turn their back to pass options.
Drops it off to Lambert moving in. Got advantage, it's down, a centering pass, score! And that is
When you think about it, the NHL game is not a level playing field. Some players, because they're faster and better handlers, have more plays available to them than others, and a better ability to repair their mistakes. Lambert could be one of those players who retain a large skill advantage even in the top league in the world. It will be harder for opponents to contain him. Many of them will have to back up to respect his skating output and agility. Of course, drafting him is a risk. His disappointing season, in terms of production, is a red flag, and his many flaws will probably scare a lot of teams at the draft. Many prospects with more certain projections will likely be drafted ahead of him. But a team that believes in their ability to develop should see a massive opportunity in Lambert. Few players in the 2022 class have his potential. His elite technical ability gives him a strong and large foundation on which to build an impactful offensive game. With the right help, Lambert could become a top-line forward that will break neutral zone defenses and create from the half wall in the offensive zone for years in the NHL.
Based on their spelling. Moving right out in front and a shot, they score! Brad Lambert showing his skill.
That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. You can also check out EPRinkside.com for more prospect analysis.